We're back again. It's the Insiders. We're back again. It's the Insiders. You're joining myself, Matt, and Darren on a Sunday evening or a Monday morning, if you are where Darren is. And it's been a massive, massive week for surfing. But more importantly, Darren, how are you, mate?
Yes, not too bad, matey. I've walked the dog, Lolly. Did an interior tour of the retirement village. Uh, Had a little bit of a swim at the retirement pool. Saw a couple of old champions in the gym, lady on the stepper and a man doing a light workout. Massively in inspiring would be the word I was looking for. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, that's what I had a massive weekend actually. Had a big night in Brisbane at a I can't think of the word, iconic location, Brecky Creek Hotel, which is famous for its steaks and beer and banter. And then slept over at one of my mates' place and like I was just saying to you earlier, I kind of strained my shoulder last week surfing. So it's kind of been a bit sore and tender. And this guy who I grew up with, he got diagnosed with lymph node cancer a few years ago. He's had full treatments and everything. He used to play for St George, which is one of the best rugby league teams in Australia. We were watching a match on Saturday. He actually only played reserve grade because he was only 20, 21 at the time. And the year he played, I said, "Did you guys ever, how good did you go?" And the year he played, the reserve team, which he was in, made the grand final, and the A grade team made the grand final, and they
Mhm.
both lost. They
Oh,
lost both finals, which was gutted. But on the drive back to my place yesterday, he was telling me a lot of the rehab he's done over the years, because obviously rugby league player, knee problems, shoulder problems. It's just good to converse with other people sometimes because we get caught in our surfing bubble, and we're not the only ones that struggle with injuries. That's for sure.
yeah.
Look at the pros, mate. Look at the pros. Justine Dupont broke her back. Um, what's the other mate? The English girl who got smashed
Laura,
at.
Laura
Yep.
Crane.
No
Yeah.
pain,
And
no gain.
yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, it's been a pretty big week for everyone, like in the South World, which has been exciting, been really exciting. The To give you a bit of an update, following on from the last episode, the surf in the UK since we last spoke has not been great, but had a fun little surf this morning. Had one of those surfs this morning where the wind was really good between like first light and say like 10 a.m. But that was when it was the worst tides. So it's really frustrating that you kind of had some good wind with bad tides, and you just were like, I spent the whole surf thinking, if only this was like a higher tide, like mid to high tide, it would have been like really good. But France has been pretty fun, just as a little update, and we've got waves this week, so that's
That's
going to be.
that's one of the classic problems of France, actually. Totally. And here as well, man. I was up the Sunshine Coast, and and my mates who had to go to work and were looking after my other mate who was looking after his son. They weren't able to leave the Maroochydore area, and it was like a 4 to 6 foot swell, but really straight and long, like classic France. That's what I was trying to explain to my mates. But the lucky thing for us is we have massive high tide, so that'll come in, and but you still have to time it. Where these guys couldn't time it because
Mm,
you had to go somewhere else. Meanwhile, you do see perfect waves at Snapper and Steph Gilmore, for example, in an iconic Kirra Barrel. but you really have to be in those hotspots. And if you're in those hotspots, like I already said last episode, and it's the same around the world, you've got to be really, really fit, really hungry, really patient, and I guess really humble.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, to come back to it at the end of the episode, probably the biggest thing that's happened in the surf world this week is I've ordered two new boards, but we'll go through what I've ordered
Sensation.
maybe at the end of the episode. Let's dive straight into what is fresh, which is the Newcastle event.
Massive.
Just finished.
I watched it every day and nearly most of it, Matt, because like
I
that
think I
all
did
the
too.
good stuff was after I kind of um wasn't surfing and also yesterday nursing a slight hangover in just watched it all day. It was fucking fantastic. On top of that, one of our home boys won.
Yes. Yeah, I actually
Congratulations,
watched.
Reggie.
Yeah, I've actually watched quite a lot of it as well because of so Emily's actually started watching Married at First Sight Australia, which I think
Oh,
is absolute bullshit. So while she's had that on the TV, I just had this on the iPad. And it's actually not a bad time in to catch it because it obviously starts early and you can watch it through the night. And over a weekend, it wasn't too bad. So I watched quite a lot of it and then caught up the next morning. Um, and yeah, hell yeah, Reggie. I wanted to bring that up actually. We can now say that the three boys that came to see you, like you got Joel Vaughan on tour, George Pittar requalified, which we'll talk about, back on tour, and now Reggie Challenger Series, Phillip Island Pro winner like 3 weeks ago, stand out of the ABBs, and now winning a Changers is massive, and hopefully
and
that
also,
springboards him.
obviously, but we'll get to that. Liam O'Brien,
Oh
uh,
yeah,
required, and heartbreakingly, um, Sophie McCulloch didn't
yes.
requalify.
So question for
But
you because
then,
I had this question written down.
then I looked at another article this morning, and I did see a post somehow about that from the Israeli girl, and somehow seeing how much it meant to her kind of eased the heartbreak for the others that missed out when you see, like when you saw Matthias Hurdy qualify,
Yeah,
that meant someone didn't, that meant Jacob didn't, or someone else didn't. So
yeah,
there's always going to be tears, isn't there? But there's always
yeah.
going to be.
I wanted to bring. There was a couple of things I wanted to say about that. Actually, was Sophie McCulloch is incredibly good, but also what a human. The fact that she didn't qualify, and she was obviously clearly like she was really upset and stuff after her heat. But then she congratulated Anor, the Israeli girl. I hope I pronounced that right, Anor, Anat. Um, and she chaired Alyssa
Yeah, him
Spencer
up
up
the
the
beach.
beach.
Yeah, I
Yes,
wanted to say that too.
and then chaired Reggie up the beach, and she even congratulated Annette on Instagram as well. The only thing I could think of though was, and this is kind of a weird thing, but it was just stuck in my head is like Lobby must have been able to like not celebrate because like he
Yeah,
must have
heck,
had to play it down. Like for anyone who doesn't know, they're in a relationship together. They've been in a relationship for a little while now, and obviously he scraped through, which I was really happy to see. Um, but I did feel for him as well as feeling for her, like with whether he could celebrate or not. But I'm sure she would have said to him, like, crack on.
that was an interesting one. I got to watch uh the comp a couple of days each with a couple of different friends, both of them really good surfers and always were, and they did comps everything when they were young. And something one of my friends said to me was he thought it was a wrong decision for the lobby to boycott the Burley event and go down there. Now, in retrospect, we can look at two people that didn't boycott the event, which was Sophie McCulloch and Alister, Reginato, who both did it. And then, for example, Reggie drove down there overnight, won the event. And Sophie, even though she didn't qualify, she still made the quarterfinals. She was a whisker off. Now, I kind of thought that was a good point because I also did ask Liam if he wanted to do a potty like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he said, "Oh, I'm a bit busy at the moment. Let's wait till after the Challenger." Now, that for me really did say something about the stress levels he was under. And I just wonder if he had been able to do the Burley event, if it could have put it at the back of his head. Like it's all retrospect, anything could happen. But I do at the same time, like how could it not have been a
Mm.
stressful moment for him?
And then yeah, and you could argue that in hindsight, it's a completely fair and valid point. But then you could argue if he'd have lost first round, someone might have been like, "Oh, he's tired because he just had a hell few days at the ABBs, blah blah blah," that kind of thing. Um, and then you're like, okay, because Morgs was at the ABBs, right?
I didn't see him there, but
Oh,
maybe he
maybe
did.
not
So
then. So no, maybe I'm confusing Morgs with someone else.
Dakota,
Because yeah,
Dakota
Dakota was, yeah,
Walters
that,
was,
and he
and
went well.
he the whole way through to the final, like Alister. I'm wondering, it was just a really good warm up, and it seems honestly,
Yeah,
as it's a team event, even though there's pressure, they're not carrying the pressure all by themselves. So I think it's a great way to lead into an event.
and maybe a bit of a good distraction as well from worrying about Newcastle like for a longer period of time. Who knows? It,
Here's a good one for you, Matty. You love the controversy. Um, we saw that early in the week with there was that the heat with Alister and
Matthias.
um, Matthias, and I watched that with one of my friends, and we were really on the fence whether we would have given him the score, and we were both like really pro Alister. Straight after, I was pretty happy. Like I think Stab blew it up, but then I said, "Well, I hope Alister wins just to crush a few people's dreams." But it's so hard to judge those things from a
Yeah,
screen because it just looks so different in real life.
yeah. I see. Here's the weird thing: is I think the score Alistair got, um, I think was a little bit high. And if you actually looked at it, it was only
6.33.
when what's his name? Richie Lovett said it on the score on the commentary. Only two of the judges gave him above the score, but because of the way it works, but everyone works on the same scale, so I'm not questioning that. But I didn't think Alistair's score was like terribly wrong, but I thought Mateus' score was wrong. I think that was a bigger. I think Mateus that air he done in the section he done on the wave he done it on should have been a higher score than what they gave him. Um, I think that was the biggest problem with it. It wasn't essentially Alistair's score. It was more that they undercooked um, Mateus on that wave, in my opinion. For the waves that they were scoring that day, um, I personally think he deserved a bigger score for that. But ultimately, there was this is the thing I was going to say about it is it got made into something by like the internet about oh this could be costing this kid's career and blah blah blah. But I because I'd already looked, you looked at the side of the draw, and two people had to. There was three people that had to get to the final for him to be knocked out, basically. Um, and obviously, only two people could make a final. So I was like, he is pretty safe right now.
It was pretty
It
safe
would,
anyway. I just
yeah,
can't like in our sport still get my head around is why a surfboard judge would block someone or block someone else. I do think, and I also discussed this with a mate, and I don't know about your opinion on this, um, but it's been going on since the dawn of time. There is a flavour of the month always, because I'm
yeah,
telling you. there's no way yesterday in I don't know what heat it was, but Tia Zabrowski got a seven for like a kind of a vertical foam Rio. Now, that was the most generous seven I've ever seen. And I know Katie used to get all these extra points because she was a kid, and Tia's a kid. She's a
Yeah,
super. Don't get me wrong. Like with my friend, we were like, she's going for the title this year, man. She's 13. She's
yeah,
going for the title. I don't think she's going on there just to get a bit of experience, but also don't think that these superstars need any help from the judges. But I think the judges
yeah.
just get so excited, like thinking like, wow, that was unreal because it was. But first wave of heat, you don't need to get a seven in conditions like that. I don't know if you saw the maneuver I'm talking about.
I did. I did because I think on the heat it actually was the who was she against? That I don't that the Canadian girl, and I don't know how to pronounce it. She's got the double barreled surname,
And
but
it was
she
pretty
got
heavy.
the she got the first wave. So the camera actually didn't get Tia's first maneuver, and then it showed a highlight, and I did think it was a bit high. I also was going to say the same thing about the scoring in the Ziggy McKenzie and Ellie Harrison heat. Um, I thought Ellie got a little bit of or well, I think Ziggy got a little bit of like kid scoring
Kids
assistance.
scoring.
I think Ellie was throwing more spray and being a little bit more critical. It just was that the wave obviously looked bigger on a smaller person. Um, so I kind of tend to agree that, um, but still, yeah, there is. Definitely think there's a flavor of the month, and I also think there's. I don't know what the right term for this is, but almost the opposite as well. I think Italo sometimes gets he either is the flavor and he gets really juiced, or he's like they're
Yeah.
really off it and they just it's not even like a middle score. They'll just cook it. And I think Mateus might have fallen into that a little bit. Um, but stoked to see him make the tour. If we start
Reckon,
like oh,
I know you're a big fan of his, but I still. I'm still unconvinced that he's going to do damage on this tour. And I'm also, that was the other thing I want to bring up was, like I used to say, and you can't do it because otherwise someone like Tia is not going to be on tour, even though potentially I think for her next 60 years, let's hope 70 years on the planet, that it's not going to be maybe the best decision to go on a world tour with adults at 13 years of age. But
she is
if
50.
you're,
She's 50.
she's not 15, she's
She's
13. She's going to
15.
be 40, she's going to be
No, she's
14 this year.
no, she's
Okay, so let's
15.
bet on it. Let's no, let's bet on
Um,
it. And also, oh,
I would
while we're
bet you
here,
my entire surfboard collection.
let's go back to fact checking. I also said North Shelley was south of Sydney in the last podcast, and it was wrong. It's north of Sydney. It's up near Avoca, so it's not the middle of nowhere. But Tia, we're looking together. Tia Zabrowski,
Date of
who's going to be
birth,
right?
me because her date of birth is 2011.
14-year-old.
She's 15.
She's not 11.
She qualified at 14, but she's now 15.
I'm going to take it all back.
Well, you
And
I just bet.
not the first time I've ever born 2011. Okay, yeah, so she on the March 9. So she just turned 15. Okay, take it all back. Take it all back. I take
you
it back.
you feel good.
15. Still young.
But
Okay,
what I would to
I
back to
wasn't
your
going to.
question
I
about
still have to finish, Matty. I still have to finish. When you got a comp, like for me, it was still a crapshoot who's going to win this thing. It's complete luck because it was just peaks, and you get if you fit
yeah,
if we've got the Challenger Series just in waves like this, which is it is at the moment. It's just crap. We already said that, but I just want to say it again. Like Jacob
yeah,
Wilcox is incredible, but he's never going to get on a tour with a crappy, shitty qualifying. Like one event like this, but they've got to have
Hey, so
reefs.
so going, I agree fully, but I want to do something now, right? I believe, and we're going to start on the men's. I believe that this is the best qualifying class in a good few years. When you look at the people who have qualified, the credentials and the surfing that they've done, if we quickly roll through it, if we go one to 10,
Yeah,
just
let's do
really
it.
briefly, if you think they're going to do damage this year, and if you think they're going to stay on tour, and bear in mind these have now got a full year on tour, which I think is a massive bonus as well. But Cowley Vast,
Massive damage,
yeah,
incredible surf. It could
when
be coming out, but let's see. Let's see if he can handle the pressure. But I think he can. Massive damage.
when
Where
I
isn't he good
saw
at?
Yeah, and when I saw his name, I was like, about time. Like that was. It wasn't like how well is he going to do. It's like about time we get to see him on tour, and he's won the Challenger Series, which is really important because it actually puts you into a. You don't have to surf the first
Yeah, yeah,
round
yeah.
in at
I
Bells,
wanted to talk about that too. That's
but
heavy.
we'll get to that. Second, Eli Hanneman.
Less damage, but potential. Let's see.
Yeah, I quite like his chances. Obviously, he was on tour, fell off, so he's had a go at it. He knows what he's getting into. He's had some heavy injuries, and I reckon he might be okay. I don't think he's going to be anything outstanding, but I think he'll be okay.
And mate, my only point on that is because he's a short little guy,
Mm,
which maybe isn't fair. But saying that, Italo is too, and he does massive damage. I'm just wondering about how his turns look on the. Oh, but there's not that many ways. Like, there's only two. Bells and Margaret's will be hiccups for him, I think. But plays like Snapper, Puerto Rico, El Salvador,
yeah,
uh,
Raglan.
Brazil, Raglan. Those places will be insane for
Yeah,
him, and he charges in a pit.
Morgs.
I reckon Morgs could go really good. He's been there before. He's clutch. He's got massive turns. He charges, man. Like he mightn't have been the charger before, but he just had a massive event at Pipe second, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Morgs. I'm hoping he goes well.
I also think Morgs will go well. Very good at Bells. I think his record at Bells is. I think he made the quarterfinals the first time he surfed there, and then the semis the second time he surfed there. So he's got
He went good as a wild card as well.
yeah. GP George Pitar.
Yeah, Georgie should go pretty good. But it's a testament to how hard it is. But it's so hard to pick. But Georgie, fuck, he's good backside too, man. He's got a hell backside, hell barrel
Yeah,
rider,
I
front
think
side.
I think George Pitar will be one of the ones who really benefits from it being the full year. I can see him being like round of 16 quarter finalist in a lot of events, and he will just accumulate points to keep himself safe. I don't necessarily see him having like a win in this year. He easily could, but I think he's going to be really consistent. Um, the yo-yo man, Samuel Pupo.
Hey, what I thought was interesting is he's only 25. Fuck,
Yeah,
he must have got on tour the first time when he was pretty young because 25's young as. He's got a massive amount of experience. I can't see him not going good. But lots of times he hasn't.
yeah. I was
So
going to say it's one of those where I've been caught out quite a lot of times by going, "Oh, I think he might be top five this year," and then he falls off tour. Um, I think the pressure of the cut being taken away, and the fact that there's a pool event and um, those high performance waves, I think he'll go pretty good. Um,
the
Callum
interesting
Robson,
start,
so
it's an
gone.
interesting start to the tour, remember, because
Yeah,
it's the two ocean Ocean Man, Waterman waves first.
Yeah,
Bells and Marlies, but Bells it depends on if they get a good swell. Let's hope they do. Like it's not straight into it. Like Snapper's not till number three. I know they couldn't do it, but I think Snapper's best first. But sorry, I
I
reckon
yeah,
Sammy will go.
Callum Robson.
Cam Robson. So this is the bottom five on the Challenger who we're going to get a full rule book explanation on this. But if I understand correctly, Matty, the bottom surfers of the re-qualifiers and the second five of the new qualifiers have to surf an elimination round before they hit that seeded surface, correct?
Yeah, and we already know who it is.
So that's
We
going to
already
be the
the only
toughest thing ever.
the only person we don't know who is surfing against who is Callum Robson. He will be surfing against the trials winner, which at Bells is a scary person. Like that's going to be probably Xavier Huxtable, Tully Wiley, one of those where local
Okay,
knowledge
one of his good
falls.
mates. One of his
Yeah,
good
and
mates.
local knowledge. Yeah,
I quickly want to mention Callum, and I'm going to do everything I can all year to try and get Callum on the show because I just reckon he is unreal. One of my
yeah,
mates has got two kids that are little clubbies and surfers. They did, which I didn't know about that he does, but I had seen he was doing all these kind of YouTube and Instagram posts on training techniques. He's turned himself into a coach,
yeah,
not even turned. He qualified himself as a coach. He's doing Grom camps. My
yeah.
mate said he's the nicest guy ever. Everything he said made sense. The kids love him. I heard him on a podcast of Lipped. He's one of the best spoken guys under 25, I think, on the tour I've ever heard. Humble, tough as nuts, clutch. You see the big air he did?
Yeah, Clutch. And he's added that to, I was going to say that's the biggest thing is because he was obviously on tour a few years ago, had a really good first year, not obviously then fell off, been away a little bit, but he's added an air game to his. He's a powerful dude. Like he is a powerful surfer, but he's added an air game, and he's like
Hey, so
that's what.
added an air game. A friend of mine saw him in a Grom comp who he didn't know who he was as a kid, and he was against some other kid who was an air kid. And we're talking when he was 16, and he won the final with massive airs. So then he would have grown into a man, got rid of the airs, come back to him.
Well, maybe yeah, maybe he's just got because that's the thing is he's it's not only he's added them, he's added them with reliability. He won pipe because of the airs he landed. He obviously got far in this comp. He had that real clutch, massive air.
Let's put that
So
in bold letters. He won pipe, man. And even
yeah,
though it was a workman-like win. Like he kind of didn't get those couple of pits
only in
that
the final it was
Morgie's.
pumping.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he won pipe when it was
exactly.
pumping.
I mean,
I,
Jack Robinson is a pipe master, and the year Jack Robinson won, it was 2 foot, and it wasn't even airs; it was horrible turns. So,
well,
um,
I reckon it's tough as, but I can't see him not requalifying. And honestly, if
yeah,
he gets a bit of confidence and he's got the confidence, he could smash it.
I actually think so. He's the one that for me I've put a little ring around, I guess, where like what we spoke about with like Samu Pupo and what we'll probably say about Mateus as well is the first two events really don't suit them. But with Callum, he's got momentum on his side. Like he's one pipe, he's just done well in this event. He's now sixth in the CS ranking out of nowhere. And then he's going into Bells and Margaret River. I think he could start the year with his continued momentum. We'll be a bit quicker. Luke Thompson, I don't really know too much about, but God knows. I don't see him requalifying, if I'm honest. But
He's looking good. He's 21.
he's clearly good, yeah.
People are giving him big raps. Apparently, he's an unreal bloke. and he's going to be traveling with one of the best guys on tour who, from what I heard, took him under his wing, Geordie. So that's pretty massive.
Yeah, and
Good
I think
luck
he's
is what I'm saying to him.
part of like the lobby camp and stuff as well, or like good friends with the lobby camp. Oscar Berry, he's the one. He's very good. He is very very good. I just think maybe it's a bit of a step up.
I've got to really check him out. I haven't had a chance to. I've been seeing him there all year. I heard a couple of guys say he's got massive turns. He comes from a place where the waves are quality. I think the first two events suit him. He's a big fella. He looks super humble. I'd love to see him do good. He's kind of like what Callum was a couple of years ago, even though he's
Yeah,
could sit, could consider an old man at 23.
I heard that. I heard Stace Galbraith was on a thing, and he basically said he's at the age and stuff. He's better than Callum Robson and yeah, I can't remember who else they said. And he said he said he's a combination of Callum Robson and Joel Vaughan. He said Oscar Berry's air game is as good as Joel Vaughan's air
Yeah,
game.
that's what I heard
Yeah,
yesterday too, that his air game's nuts. So
he's
this
a
will be
he was
sick to see.
yeah he was he could have been a professional skateboarder apparently.
Can can he take him out? Can he send it at Chopu and Fiji? That'll be the interesting thing. I'm pretty
That
sure
will
he
be
can, but it's just the guys are no
yeah.
one can match Jack or Gabrielle at those places, so they're going to have to really get lucky.
Matthias Hardy, we kind of spoke about it, and you said kind of whatever. I actually don't think that I I I, I can't even speak about it. I don't think he requalifies.
I kind of don't think he re-qualifies either, but he's got a year on the tour, which is fantastic. And you know what? He's just that sort of dude that could go
I
top
really want
five
him to.
just to
I
trick
really
us,
want him
but
to.
I don't think he will.
Yeah, me too. I really want him to. I think with Mateus, I wouldn't be surprised if he won an event or if he finaled an event, but I also can see him losing first round a good few times as well. And the balance, like this whole year with this new format change, it is all about consistency, in my opinion. I think that's what's going to prove throughout the year.
Well,
And I,
if you're in that first round, Matty, okay. When you get past that first round, and fingers crossed that there's no dude that just doesn't get past first round all year, because imagine that to your confidence. If you do get past that first round, you're going to have to try and make a semi
yeah,
if you want to qualify, because straight after that first round, you're going to be coming up against the top seeds,
yeah,
and and it's going to go from elation of making the tour to a nightmare.
yeah.
That's all I'll say
Um,
on that one. You can go to number 9.
well, he's number 9. Mateus is surfing first heat against
Oh,
number
yeah, okay,
10,
yeah, okay.
which is Lobby. Like, there's no question in my mind that Liam O'Brien is inside the top 10 of the best surfers on tour. It's
Yeah,
just,
Lobby's my favourite qualifier.
yeah, he just needs to. He's exactly what you just said. He needs to go well at Bells to get his ranking adjusted, so he can start avoiding that first round and start avoiding having just heavy heats at the first and second round every event. But yeah, everyone knows Lobby's the best. Like he's our
I
favorite.
think the
He's been on.
tough thing for Lobby, the two tough events for Lobby are Brazil, and that's it. One tough event. So
But he's
imagine
shown
that.
this year.
I'm
He's
from
shown this
Queensland, man.
year. Shown if you can make it through the Challenger Series on like what this year's been. Obviously, I know he scraped it in 10th, but like you've got to be good in shitty waves if you get in the top 10 of that Challenger Series. So
He's such a paradox. Everyone loves him. He's the nicest, humble guy, and people aren't just loving him because he's a nice, humble guy. He's putting out edits that are
yeah,
like Kale Walsh, but he's a comp surfer,
yeah,
which I think what resonates with everyone, honestly.
me too. I mean, that's the top 10. I think it's an incredible challenges, like qualifying series from that year for this year. I think it's going to make this year great. Moving on, because we've got 4 minutes left.
We'll go over the girls in our next episode. We've got plenty of time.
Yeah, we'll do a full Bells preview with all of the opening rounds and stuff. So don't worry about that, people. But I did want 3 minutes worth of John talk. Have you watched it?
Yeah, yeah. So I watched it yesterday. My friend was watching it in his living room the other day when I walked in, and I quickly walked out because I wanted to watch it by myself. I wanted that private moment alone to be a crazy ex-boyfriend,
Yeah.
stalking him. You want to know? I don't know if this sounds strange for you, Maddie, but the one thing I wish about this John video is that I never saw it.
Yeah.
You understand where I'm coming from?
I 100% understand where you come. Like it
No, no,
puts
no, not
all.
in the respect that he's on tour. I wish I never saw it just because I wish they did that without a filmer. Even though I'm sure them doing it didn't feel like that they were there with the world. Do you know what I mean? In this world of you got to share everything, but I do know it is his job. And thank God we
Yes,
do see it.
and I do also think that his filmer is his best mate, Buster Knutson, Eric Knutson, Knutson, however you say it. It is his best mate, so it will probably feel a little bit different to having this like filmer who you're like, oh, who's this guy? It's the kind of thing. A bit like Tora Martin. It's documented by his best friend Ishkar, who's part of the trip and part of the crew. So,
Yeah, yeah, I understand
um,
where you come from.
but geez, the waves and the surfing and just like the fact that it just proves that the best surfer in the world by a long way is also as much as a frother as all of us, where he's sitting there. You know, that clip where he sits there and he says he watched it because it was high tide and he didn't look that good and he thought maybe a different ledge will work at low tide and he sat and just watched it for his binoculars and then it just still didn't work and then stuff. I'm like, you just watched a wave for like a day just to see if it works, and we're all so like that. I thought it was incredible. Anyone who hasn't seen it should go and see it.
I reckon for me, the biggest thing was watching him um, put the ropes on the boat and everything. Because
Yeah,
honestly, in real life, like in mechanics and things like that, I'm just one of the biggest kooks that there ever was. Like as a kid, I just
me
really,
too.
really loved reading. I was like pretty good at mathematics and all those things, but my dad was a master builder, and I just can't do that sort of stuff. And seeing that like just adds a whole new dimension to his intelligence. And also the fact I thought about, Matty, there's a couple of people in the world that couldn't handle that. A lot of people want to be in cities, not just cities, but environments, everything. You have to be a certain mentality to be able to be away from everything and still enjoy it without thinking you're missing out on other stuff. And he's that person, and so she, thank God.
Yeah, and I think it's only possible to do that if you both are like that, because otherwise it would be insufferable. But yeah, I think that's a wrap for tonight, Daz.
That's a wrap. Well, thanks, Matty. Amazing.
We'll be back soon. Bell's preview, Tom Morat episode dropping soon, and that's the two. Just before this cuts off, ordered my Tommy Morat. Emails in, orders in, and ordered a Margot Delma from
Get the
album.
Tommy Murat episode out for us,
I
bro.
am. We keep recording other ones. They come